and welcome to the Pumpkin Podcast. I'm your host, Calum, and this channel is proudly sponsored by Dean of the Dead's Hot Sauces. Today, I'm joined by Ash from Scare Directory. Ash, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm not too bad, buddy. So we're going to have a chat with Ash and find out why he started Scare Directory and find out what Scare Directory actually do. And then we're going to touch on Halloween this year and get Ash's thoughts on how things are going to go this year. So, Ash, please tell me, why did you come up with Scare Directory?
So, about, I think it was towards the end of 2018.
Okay.
I was walking down the escalator in the tube station in London, and I saw an advert for tellies. Okay. And that reminded me how much I love scare attractions. I hadn't been to tellies at that point, and then I started researching a bit more, and I found lots of stuff on the internet, but I didn't find that one place that had a list of all scare attractions, those that were near me, and those that had, detailed information about that attraction. And so I thought, I need to make a list or something. Yeah. So I started writing a list of all these attractions that I might want to visit. And at that point, I was like, I've got a list. I might as well make a database. And my day job is data and doing techie stuff. Yeah. So I was like, I might as well put it into a database. And then I sort of thought, that's a database. And then the next thing is kind of, do I put that online? Yeah. And I looked at what's out there for like roller coasters and theme parks, and there's a couple of websites out there that sort of like the roller coaster database that sort of lists every coaster and then goes into really detailed stuff about each thing. Now then Scare Directory, I was like, okay, I could do that, and so initially it was a case of just saying, here's the event, here's the attraction, here's what's coming over the next year. But what I'd like to do, and this is where I want to take it, is I would like to sort of start becoming more of like almost like a Wikipedia of scares. So take an attraction that's been running for many, many years, sort of talk to the attraction owners, get some really interesting info about the early stages, the early days, how did they start, what attractions and mazes they've had through the years, how they've changed, what the themes were and what themes sort of just went away. You know, we had a period where there was lots of asylum mazes, and for obvious reasons they started to fade away, really. It'd be interesting to sort of highlight that for various attractions, what's happened, and then where they are today. So it's kind of that place to kind of geek out and understand about attractions. But also, if you're not looking for that, you can literally go in, stick your postcode in, and it will tell you, for me, for example, Fear at Avon Valley's down the road. Yeah. And that's, from talking to people, that seems to be what people find quite useful. You know, the first thing you're presented with is a box. Just put your town or your postcode in, and boom, you've got attractions. And that's kind of the idea. Let's get the word out. You know, it's a small industry. Yeah. The people who love it, but there's a lot of other people out there who don't know about the scare industry, that if they did know about the scare industry, they'd love it as well. Yeah, absolutely. That's why people like you come in handy for them. Yeah, and it was at ScareCon last year? Yeah, last year, where one of the attraction owners was saying in one of the presentations that, you know, of all the people that could go, they've got a handful, like 1% of the potential people that could go to a scare attraction go to one. So there's a huge market of people that could just go to them. So the more people talking about it, the more people sharing stuff, the better it is for the industry. And it means we'll get better, more inventive, more creative, different scare attractions. And hopefully that's what my website does. It helps people find them and then helps the ones that do exist get a few more people in the door. Yeah. Well, how many scare attractions you've actually got listed on your website now? Have you got a rough figure? Yeah, it's close to 100 either side. And that could be some that have gone away now that don't exist. Or it could be some that are planned, but with COVID, obviously we don't fully understand what's happening. So, it's around about 100, I think, attractions that may have either been in existence or have passed. Events-wise, I'm leaving that open at the moment just because of the uncertainty. Yeah. As soon as it's a bit more, as soon as there's clarity, we'll list all the events as they can. And it will just be a massive push to just get all the events listed and sort of get the messaging out that, you know, there's lots happening. Yeah. And let's get people there. You know, it's only a month or so away. 100%. And it is a month or so away. I'm excited for Halloween this year. Can't wait.
I know, I say I'm excited for Halloween this year. It's going to be different this year. However, I'm still looking forward to visiting the attractions that are opening this year. Yeah. Now, obviously, it's not just yourself now that runs Scare Directory. What other people do you have in your team? Yeah, so the main two reviewers are myself and Stephen. Yeah. So Stephen's quite an interesting story. So
I met Stephen at Scream Camp. We both went on our own. So we just started chatting and shared a tent, and almost the rest is history. I'd seen Stephen write a review on his Facebook page, and I quite liked the way it was written, and I thought, that's good.
Yeah.
So I offered him. I was like, "Oh, would you like to, write some reviews for the website?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I've got Stephen on board as well, and like Stephen, like me, went quite crazy last year, and we visited. We didn't visit all. We visited most attractions.
Most attractions last year. How many did you do last year? Do you remember?
Without looking it up, I would say it was about 40.
40.
That's
That's
not
some
all.
doing that.
Pardon?
That's some doing.
Yeah, and we'll do our best to do anything that opens this year. And so we didn't. The way we got 40 between us was we didn't go to them together.
Ah, okay.
So,
but that's good because Scare Directory could still review them.
Yes.
And obviously you didn't have to, if one of you couldn't make it, obviously you wouldn't just not go, one of you would still go and do it on behalf of the Scare Directory.
Yeah, and so there were some that only one of us went to, and there were some where we both went, but went on different nights, and then there was the odd one we actually went together. It was weird, because we'd organised our Halloweens independently, because we met at Scream Camp quite late. Most things were booked at that point. So, it was a bit of a random one.
Well, a funny thing you've just said there is that both of you visited the same attraction sometimes on different nights. Obviously, you both review for Scare Directory. Now, did you ever find that one of you had a better experience than the other?
So in most cases, no. There was one attraction that we, which will remain nameless, that we had.
Names.
Pardon?
No names.
And it wasn't necessarily for a bad thing. It was just we had slightly different experiences. I went on an exceptionally bad night, and it was weather-wise.
Yeah.
It was wet. And it was horrible. So I was already drenched and miserable and grumpy.
Yeah.
So I think my view of it might have been slightly tainted by the fact that I was already quite, not feeling 100%.
Yeah.
So we kind of waited on that before. So we waited for us to have both visited, and then we wrote the review. So there was not many like that though. And most we agreed with.
Most you agree with.
I think if we were to rank them, our rankings might be slightly different, but generally, we agreed that it was either top tier, medium tier, or bottom tier.
Yeah, it's quite a nice story hearing that you and Stephen obviously met at Scream Camp. We had a lot of people actually met there and have stayed friends to this day.
Yeah.
So for you then to obviously create and find another team member, that's quite nice to hear.
Yeah, it was a surprise.
Yeah.
I wasn't even looking for team members. And then we do have one other. So that's Josie, and Josie is coming from a slightly different angle. So Josie was completely new to scare attractions. She hadn't been to one before Scare Directory.
Mm-hmm.
Like Josie's a friend of mine, and so Josie brings that perspective of someone who's not deep in the industry. It can give like that average Joe, that man on the street kind of that opinion.
Yeah.
And so that's where Josie's,
which is what you want sometimes, because sometimes people like ourselves who go through attractions can have quite a tainted view.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we can, we'll sometimes write 2 reviews. So one from my perspective, as someone who's been through quite a few, and I'm quite nerdy, so I quite like sort of theatre and set design and stuff. So I'll notice weird little things in like the scenery and stuff that like the average person wouldn't. The average person's like, did I make jump?
Yeah.
Did I enjoy myself? And
did I get scared? Yeah.
So it's really interesting where we can, and we both go to something. We'll try and both write a review to try and give those 2 perspectives. Now, obviously, over time, that's going to be hard because Josie will have gone to more, and will then start becoming more critical. So, it'll be interesting to see what the future holds.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the future, have you got anything planned for the future that you'd like to tell us about?
So with regards to attractions or the website?
Both.
Okay, so I'll start with the website.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always looking to be something different. We want to be a resource to the industry that helps attractions.
Which you do a cracking job at, by the way.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We want to be something that's different, that doesn't step on toes, doesn't fit into one little box, but does something that's helpful. And so we're just going to launch a survey shortly. If we can time it right, we'll get it out roughly with this podcast as well when this comes out. So the idea being we just want to get people's thoughts, opinions, and again, those thoughts and opinions can just be a message on Facebook or a message on Instagram. It doesn't have to be a response to the survey. But what we're really interested in is understanding what you want from a website that's not covered elsewhere. What are we doing well? What are we doing not so well? What could we improve on? Do people want short, snappy reviews, or do they want really long, in-depth ones that like comment on everything.
Detailed reviews, yeah.
And those are the sort of things we want to try and understand. So yes, we probably won't be able to make necessarily all the changes for this year, but coming 2021, especially when it'll be a more normal Halloween, hopefully by 2021.
Touch wood.
I'll be able to we'll be able to put those things into action and make something happen. So that's for the website.
Yep.
We want to change it. It kind of went a bit stationary over lockdown.
Yeah.
That was partly because I felt myself a bit demotivated by the whole thing. Like all my plans were cancelled. I was meant to be in Florida in a month's time, and I can't go to Halloween Horror Nights. So everyone's had things cancelled. Everyone's like either not working or struggling and stuff. I just lost all motivation. So that's coming back. I've started going back to attractions. It's coming back. So Halloween, it's a little up in the arm because not everything's announced yet. We don't know what's going ahead, but I can kind of look at what I did last year and then adjust it a bit. So I'm definitely going to be going to the northeast, where we've got like Scream Factory, Psychopath, both excellent, and then we've got Terror in the Trees. It's a smaller event, but I quite enjoyed it, and that was really good. And then if we can, and if it happens, you've got York Maze. Again, no announcement yet, so we don't know. And you've also got Yorkshire Scaregrounds up that way as well. So I try and do a sort of northeast, northwest, and then because I'm based in the south, I can then from there kind of go either way. And try and do them on sort of like a long weekend for each attraction. Each set of attractions, and that kind of works quite well. So that's the plan.
That's the plan. So when you'll obviously set yourself a schedule for October. What's the number one thing that you always look forward to every year?
Oh, that's tough because I look forward to different attractions for different things. So ones that are really good fun, Scream Factory. Agreed. Always good fun. Like it's I don't know, the heart and soul that goes into it. Something about it is good. And
you've got a great team down there. Have you ever spoken to the guys down there? They're really, really nice people.
Passionate, friendly. And just the way that you can just see just how much they care what their visitors are thinking. And it's brilliant. And the clown's great fun.
The clown is a great addition.
So that's always a good sort of highlight of Northeast. I was surprised by Psychopath. That it was new on the scene. And it blew me away last year. Like it was such a good. It's one I'd describe as, and there's a few attractions like this. It's a long walk. It's you going from like a scene and then a walk. And they're great because of COVID, you can keep doing those because you're outside. It's a lot easier to adapt in that environment than it is, say, in quite a tight maze. Say something like Warsaw. It's completely understandable why Warsaw can't go ahead.
I think they made the right decision.
Absolutely, and it wouldn't be the Warsaw that I know and love. Like I've been to a few incarnations of Warsaw and I've enjoyed everyone, including Brave It Alone one that was done for Christmas.
Well, I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to say I personally think there are some people that are just opening for the sake of this year. Because the situation it's been, financials, etc. I think some people should be not opening, but are opening. So I won't name names, but I do think there are some attractions that are being unresponsible. But the likes of Trixie at Warsaw has made the right decision. Stuart at Tully's, I think, has made the correct decision, especially with the way Tully's do their batching as well. But I do think there are some attractions out there that are opening that potentially shouldn't be.
And that's something I'm really keen to comment on this year. So I think there's going to be a period where people are uncertain. People are going to be nervous. And yes, there's a younger demographic and younger people. If you believe the news, younger people haven't been so fazed by coronavirus.
Correct, yeah.
But there will be those people who will be a bit worried about going. So I think it's quite key that like when we get any messaging out, we can comment on whether we think the operations were safe. They did everything they possibly could to keep the actors safe. It's not just about the guests; it's about the people working there. And I think the key things is about movement, how you can safely move people through the attraction, safely deliver a scare while maintaining that whatever the current at that point in time safety regulations are. Now, what's going to be quite worrying is if there's local lockdowns that affect these things operating, that could really damage an attraction.
100%.
And it might be the right choice especially if you're in a risky area that could potentially go into a lockdown.
Well, I touched on this on one of the previous episodes, and I said, for example, what would happen if some specific area of the UK where there's a scare attraction goes into lockdown on the 30th of September, and then 30 days after 28 days in September, isn't it? Correcting myself.
30 days.
30 days after December. Who's got 28? So February?
February.
There we go. It's me trying to do my maths in my head there. Yeah, so the 30th of September, for example, and the local council say, you're not opening. And they've invested loads of money to open up on the 1st of October. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're taking a big gamble. You know, I did touch on, I think, the new place that is opening, you know.
Screenfields.
I think they're taking a massive gamble opening this year, especially with because obviously the thing is with attractions that have opened for previous seasons do have that fan base, do have people which return every year. Screenfields is a brand new place with no one that's ever been before. You know, are people going to go to this place? You know,
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to be set up. It's going to be designed in a world where coronavirus has existed. So there's potential. Again, the local lockdown things aside, you know, that's going to potentially cause problems.
Yeah.
But you know, they've had the opportunity to design something from the ground up that could be as safe as possible. You know, longer, you know, wider spaces, places that, you know, actors and visitors can maintain distance. It's risky. Personally, I wouldn't open. But that's me because I try and avoid risk at all costs. Really. I think there'd be. It takes a lot of money to launch an attraction.
It does. It's not cheap.
No.
And it's extremely not cheap. And especially if people want to expand on last year and try and make their event better than it was the year before, they've got to invest money. They've got to change things up. They've got to put this effort in. And then if, like I say, if all of a sudden, just before they open, they say, you can't open because there's a high risk now in this area, they've lost all that money.
Yeah, and I'd be completely okay if like this year was almost like a copy of last year. So don't bring out new attractions. Don't waste money on building something new. Maybe put a different storyline around something.
I agree.
Retheme something that's already there. If you can do that, like the way you've got either fixed things or things that just go into storage throughout the year, that's a lot easier and a lot lower risk. You know, if you did go into a local lockdown, it would be difficult. Absolutely, but it would give, it's risky, and I'd be worried with a new attraction that first year is key.
100%.
You know, first year you want good word of mouth, you want people talking about it on social media. If that doesn't happen, you shot yourself in the foot, and you potentially,
because if you've seen the map for Screenfields,
it's unless it's changed. I saw the original.
It looks like a big operation.
Yeah,
for the first year.
And that's where I think. So I think where you could lean to a safer environment is either a massive site with lots of space or just a linear operation, kind of like Scare Kingdom does, where you go in at the start and it's not till the end where you can kind of mingle with people. So potentially even stop that mingling at the end just to be completely safe, and you're just in and you're back out. Like, it will lose some of the atmosphere, but it will mean you're able to deliver scares. And yeah, I think if you can run your event in a linear fashion, personally, I think that seems like a wise idea. And yeah, I think was it Cursed? I think you're running in a linear way instead of a kind of more of a scream park way.
Well, if we're talking about attractions that obviously are opening in a COVID secure way, we have both now visited Passage del Terror, which I believe you did today.
Yeah.
Now let's tell everyone what it is. If you've not been through Passage, explain to them the precautions they've put into place and what your opinion is of how they did it.
Yeah. Okay. So you walk up, you get your ticket. First thing they do, temperature check, and then they tell you first time they tell you kind of some of the rules. So stay on your squares. They've got squares in the queues that keep you nicely distanced in the queue line. And then once you get to like time to go in, so I went in on my own. So it was just myself and another couple. We were told to stay distant within the attraction, and that's 3 of us. That worked. But you know, if you were a big group, you'd be sent through as your bubble. So yeah, you go down the stairs. You again given another announcement. All the staff have got PPE. What I was impressed with, and this is just a bugbear of me, people wearing masks not over their noses. There was a person in our group that was wearing it sort of under their nose. On entrance, she was told to wear it properly.
That's good.
Absolutely. And
some people just ignore that and just let them get on with it.
Yeah, and she fixed it. But then an actor picked up on it. And in character, basically took the mickey out of her. And was like, you know, don't do that. What was it? It was like, you don't breathe through your mouth, do you? Or something like that. It was brilliant. It was the clown. So
Yeah.
you could be a bit funny and a bit silly.
Just savaged her.
And and then she just felt awkward, and then again she put it back up. So doing stuff in character that acknowledges the situation we're in, but makes people safe is brilliant, and it worked really well. And again, the actors have all got either full face masks or just a mask over their face. And yeah, I felt very safe, and I don't think it deterred from the attraction. I think that's the key thing to say about people who are a bit like, oh, I don't know, will it be as good?
Correct. Yeah.
I think it was good. It was a very good run. It was, it was up there with some of the better runs that I've had through Passage, and I wouldn't say it had no negative effect on the attraction.
Not at
So
all.
there was tweaks, changes, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
I did the same, and I would agree with everything you've just pointed up there. It was actually my best run through.
Wow.
I've been going for many years, and they actually got me twice in there, which I've never got by actors in Passage, but they got me, and that was like, felt like giving them a pat on the back. Like, it's just, I don't really get scared in attractions, but to actually get me twice in Passage, which is a place where I don't normally get scared, they did it fantastic, and still taking all those precautionary measures and keeping the distance and dealing with the situation we're facing. Props to Passage, and well done again to you guys for opening up successfully. And I said previously that potentially a lot of other attractions could take the time to just go and do Passage, just to see how they're doing it and how they're doing it in a successful way. Because it's not going to hurt anyone. Sometimes attraction owners have a bit too much pride to go and do that and look how other attractions are doing things and say, oh, it's my way, or I'm not bothered. I think people should go and take and have a look how they're doing it, because I've been through there. I did it because I wanted to see how they're doing it, and I've taken pointers myself for it. So, but no, props to Passage. And
it's really nice being an all year round attraction. They've been able to open as soon as it was safe to do so, and they've set a standard. So whether attractions like it or not, they'll be compared against the ones that have managed to open safely. Like Stephen did Zombie Infection as well recently, post lockdown, and it was done in a very safe manner. Everything was distanced, and again, absolutely, they ran a safe, enjoyable event. And all I can say is that look at what's happening. Look at those attractions that are open, and they are running, like Dungeons as well. Look how Merlin are doing it, and you can learn from it. And if you do that kind of stuff, then you'll have a successful event. And I think it could go either way. With there being less events, you might find that the other events do better. Or people might be just scared. I don't know, and no one knows really the answer to that unless I had a crystal ball. But that's it. Look at Passage. They're doing it well, and it works. So
100%. Well, good chat. That was good insight there for Mash. So it's always good to get people's opinions on how people should go about things, and I think Ash has made some really valid points there. But regarding Scare Directory, do you want to tell people how they can find you?
So scaredirectory.co.uk. We're on all the usual socials, and it's that's just Scare Directory on the social media. Instagram's where we're most active, so I'd say check us out on there. As I say, survey will be launching soon, so watch out on the socials. We'll post links everywhere when that's out, and I'd really like to hear your opinions. It would just be we just want to make it a useful website for everyone.
There you go. Go and check out Scare Directory's website. It's now time for Ash to take on the Dean of the Dead Wheelie Hot Sauce Challenge. Now, I know Ash is good with hot sauces, so I just know I can feel another defeat coming here, but Ash is excited to try the hot sauces. Now, you may have noticed we have a new mascot on the show. This is Dean. So Dean is our new mascot, who's holding our potato chips in his little pumpkin. So I'm going to get at the wheel, and Ash can get ready.
Thank you very much.
Right. There we go. Just check that's in the middle. There we go. There you go, buddy.
Thank you.
So I'll pull your mic this way. That's it. So, the rules of the Dean's having a dance. The rules of the Wheelie Hot Sauce Challenge are as follows. Now, it's a scare attraction based game. Basically, this is our Hot Wheel. So we're going to spin the wheel, and on each section is a different name, hot sauce, which is all themed to a different horror movie. So you've got the Exorcist, which is the top one you can get, which is 6 chilies, and it goes all the way down to just sauce. So, like I said, they're all now the horror movies, which is really cool, which is just 1 chili. So between each spin, we're going to ask Ash a question. Ash is going to then tell us his answer to the question, go into detail a little bit into the answers if you want to, and then we will see how you get on with the hot sauces.
Cool.
Yeah?
I hope I haven't fragged too much, and then like the first one kills me.
You know what? Like I say, Katie Chapman a few episodes ago rolled it 3 times in a row. She rolled it 4 times in the whole episode. I was on the toilet half the night. So let's hope that doesn't happen again. Okay, so we'll start off with a spin. So you're my guest, so you make the first spin. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I just knew it was going to happen. You find this funny, don't you, Ash?
What?
You find this funny?
Yeah. Going at the deep end.
Right, okay. So we'll try this sauce, the Exorcist. So the Exorcist is the top one. As you can see, it's 6 chilies, and it is paired with the Carolina Reaper chili. So let's get this on. There we go. No messing about. First spin. There we go. Okay, Ash. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Oh, God. Okay. Question 1. What was the first scare attraction you ever visited?
So I think it's Passage del Terror, but when I think about it a bit more, it might have been the one in Man and Two Swords. Scream, I think it was. But again, that was before I knew anything about scare attractions, so I can never really figure it out, but it was one of those 2.
I can see your eyes watering a little bit.
Yeah, it's a hot one.
It's hot, isn't it? It's a hot one for the first one, I'm telling you. So yeah, brilliant. Okay, spin the wheel. Nagamare. Okay. Naga. Okay, so Nagamare is 3 chilies, and it is Naga chilies with peach, mango, and pineapple. This is one of my favourites, this.
Okay.
So,
Probably ruined my taste buds now.
Probably.
But there's a really real sweetness to that last one. You know, getting through.
It is. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Question 2. What is your favourite attraction you have ever visited?
Oh, I have to split it into different types of attraction. Like Scream Camp was because it was different, and I think that's where it's key. Is I like attractions that do something different. Either something surprises me, or something there. So Scream Camp because it was different to anything I'd done before.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, I'd say Scream Factory.
Yep, agreed.
Again, it's unique. There's something about it that I really love. So Scream Factory is always high on that list whenever I talk about it. And to be honest, quite a few in that area as well. So like I enjoyed York Maze. There's one scene in there. I can never remember the maze, but just a ball just comes flying at you.
Yeah.
Brilliant scare, and yeah, love it. So I really struggle to say a favourite scare attraction. There's been many I've been to, and I've had good experiences in a lot.
So the best ones.
Yeah, I think so.
But if you had to pick one.
If you were to say to me, if I was to go to a scare attraction tomorrow, it would be Scream Camp.
Oh, that's much appreciated. And I promise you I've not paid
And that's
it.
not because it's just you.
I've not paid it.
Like you can read on our website, it's very clear that that's.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and hopefully we get back to next year and we can get Scream Camp back open for next year. So we've got a few things up our sleeve for next year. So
I can't wait.
So if you keep an eye on our website, screamcamp.co.uk, for updates on tickets going on sale for next year. Spin the wheel. Whoa, nearly. Jeepers, Reapers, where'd you get those peepers? Okay, so Jeepers Reapers is 5 chilies, so it's the second hottest one to the Exorcist, which is the Carolina Reaper pepper with strawberries. Come on, let's put some more in. There we go. Cheers, Ash.
Cheers.
Well, my jeans. This has got a kick as well. Okay.
Slow burner. I think you've said that on that one before, have you? About
What?
that being a slow burner.
Slow on the burner.
Because at the beginning.
It's just,
There it is.
I do it every time. I go to clear my throat. Don't clear your throat. Don't go to dry. Right, question 3. What's your favourite character you've ever encountered in a maze or attraction?
So I was thinking about this, and I think I've given different answers to this before, but it was Father Christmas in Ghoulies.
I'm glad you added Ghoulies onto the end of that.
Yeah.
Father Christmas.
Yeah. So what made that so good was it was a spur of the moment thing. I'd been to another attraction in the day, and I was just like, I just sort of quickly went on the website. I was like, I can get a ticket. So I just last minute, just me. I got a very one-on-one.
Sorry, go on.
A very unique experience, I think. And because Ghoulies was known for, ramping it up quite considerably, so I went in and I said, look, give me what you got. I'm quite happy to, push it.
Yeah.
And so Santa was there. He called me everything under the sun and got a baseball bat out and started prodding me with it. I was like, get out! He said, get out! And he chased me around the attraction with his baseball bat, and it was so funny. And again, humour is a key thing for me in an attraction.
100%, yeah.
And it wasn't overly scary, it was just hilarious. I was in tears of laughter whilst, going through the normal Ghoulies experience that it was renowned for being quite intense.
If any of you were unfortunate enough to not experience Ghoulies, you missed out, because Ghoulie was absolutely fantastic. We had some fantastic times there. I remember one of the times I went there, they had Mike Myers was in a wheelchair with no socks on, and he was rolled in, and we had to sit against a bench, and Mike Myers stuck his feet all over our face, sticking his toes up our nose. I mean, we say this, right? We're not really pitching it well, are we? But it was funny. It was funny.
Yeah, and it's a shame. I hope that in some form or another, something like that could exist.
100%,
because,
mate.
Yeah, there is a market for that either slightly ruder or slightly more intense type attraction, and I like it. And again, I was quite new to intense attractions at that point. I hadn't done anything intense, and it really it blew me away. And it kind of, I got the bug. I got the bug for something that's a bit different.
When you get the scare bug, you've got it.
And I think, its location might not have helped, but, because you're going to get the people who are in the bar upstairs going, oh, I'll try it out.
Correct.
And might be a bit much for someone who's just trying it out.
Yeah.
Passage, you can just try out. And if you don't like it, you made your decision. It's not so intense that you'll be like, that scarred me for life.
No.
But Ghoulies, it was intense, but in a good way, in all the right places.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I loved it.
So, Christmas, Santa from Ghoulies.
Yeah.
Good answer. Naga. Naga. Here we go. So we already had this one. How did you deal with this one? All right.
They've all been alright. And the other, just the Exorcist, got me a bit
Yeah, it is a bit. I seen your eyes go red.
Yeah.
And then you said, "What have I got myself into here?"
Yeah. But it's tasty.
It is.
Absolutely.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
So again, head over to deanofthedead.com to get your horror hot sauces, because they are brilliant. And we're going to have Mr. Dean of the Dead, not our mascot Dean, but the actual Dean of the Dead, on this show in a couple of months' time, which we're really looking forward to. Okay, next question. Ooh, okay. If you could build a scare maze, what would the theming be?
So, it'd be non-linear.
Okay.
I like to leave people to their devices. Obviously, logistically, a bit more challenging to deliver that. I think, theming-wise, it's a real tough one, because I like different concepts from lots of different types of attraction. I like a simple strobe maze. If you get good actors, you can time with the strobes, you can get some incredible scares in a strobey section. But I wouldn't want that to be the whole maze. So I think I quite like medical.
Yeah.
Because it's quite real to life. So I think that's what. So personally, what do I find a bit scary would be something that could happen to me, like a zombie. Unlikely.
Unlikely.
Being operated on, or in a, if you've got surgeons with scalpels,
Yeah.
things like that, it can happen. So you could have like a kind of hospital where all of the doctors and nurses have gone a bit mad with power, and you're going around, and then each room you could go in for a different surgery or something, and different things happen to you, and you'd have options in that to either ramp it up to something quite intense,
Yep.
or keep it nice and mainstream and keep it quite family friendly. I think there's lots of options there, and keep it medical, sciencey, different operations.
I like that.
Chucking something educational in there if you
Yeah,
want.
why not? Chuck it in while you're at it. No,
Yeah.
Good answer. Spin the wheel. Parascoval. You don't have this one yet, have you?
Oh, what's that one?
So Parascoval is ghost chilies with blueberries, and it's 4 chili on the spice chart. I really like my new mascot, Dean.
Hey, he's a bit wobbly, but
He's a little bit wobbly. I think he's not
Yeah.
really straight because his feet go up. So yeah, if you want to get your own Dean, you can go to TK Maxx and get yourself your own little Dean mascot. Now this one always kicks my bottom, Ashley.
Okay.
I need to stop clearing my throat. Oh God.
I don't know what happened there.
Cheers. Oh God. Oh. What's an event or attraction you really want to visit?
It would be in probably some more of the American ones, to be honest. And also, I'd like to go to Europa Park.
Europa Park,
and
yeah.
experience that. Well, to be honest, many of the European ones, there's loads that, and Horrorland. How can I forget that? Everyone raved about it.
This is Horrorland. We love Horrorland on this
And
channel.
yeah, everyone seems to love it. I've not spoken to anyone who didn't like it.
Oh.
So, it's the one's not in the UK. I feel like they're quite accessible in the UK.
Mhm.
You've got to kind of plan a lot more for the ones in other countries. So Halloween Horror Nights, amazing. But I'd like to see what else there is. I'd like to see what like the little local ones are like.
Mhm.
But I've seen some of the documentaries about the local American ones. I'd really like to see what they're like and like the kind of passion that they put into it.
Yep.
See how different it is, because I imagine there's some similarities, some differences. Like in Halloween Horror Nights, it's lots of sound effects and synchronized motion, whereas I'd like to know what the more independent ones in America are like. So yeah, that's kind of my answer.
Good answer. Spin the wheel. Oh,
Sauce, I think.
is it on the sauce? Or are we
Yeah.
in the middle?
It's
Has it finished its spin?
I think it's on your side more.
Is it?
Oh.
Oh, guest choice.
It'll be anything I've not tried.
So you've not had sauce. You've not had the Texas. Have you had Texas chain sauce? No, you've not.
I'll go for sauces. It's next door.
You know for sauce.
Yeah.
That didn't work, did it?
I will have an exorcist before I go. I need to try that one again.
Okay, I'll get a bigger chip. I'll do. Okay, so sauce is jalapenos with apples.
A nice safe one.
Yeah.
What's that? 2?
1.
One.
This is the lowest one. Here we go. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
What's your go-to Halloween costume?
Zombie.
Spin the wheel.
It's just easy, isn't it? Yeah.
Zombie. Zombie.
Oh. Exorcist.
No hesitation. The Exorcist. Let's go. Let's go. Is that because you see me struggle with it, or you just want to try it again?
I want to know, having like sort of ramped up a bit, what its effect is.
It's like I say, over 2, 3, 4 times in a row. It's a bit of a killer. Cheers.
Cheers.
What's your favourite scary movie?
Scream or Saw?
Good answers.
Scream because it was the first I ever saw, and then Saw because I like how they all link together. Well, that's fine the second time, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fine, the second time.
What have I got here now? What are we on?
Texas
Chainsaws.
Fine, the second time.
Having seen you on the others, I knew
Yeah.
this would be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's very watery. There we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Chipotle peppers with cherries.
You can definitely get the smoke in this one, aren't we?
Nice, isn't it? How long have you been in the scare industry?
Not long. 2018 I started, like late 2018. But visiting scare attractions since I was about 16.
Oh, quite a number of years.
Yeah, so a long time.
So you've been in it as from a working perspective, 2018,
Yeah.
but as obviously going to them in
That's what, 18 years or so.
18
I think.
years.
So long time.
18 years. Oh no! Oh. Not even a twinkle of emotion from you there, Ash.
No, though it does make you sweat.
It does make you sweat,
Yeah.
don't it, buddy? Oh, there we go. Not by half either. Go on, Ash. Food. Animatronics, yes or no?
No, unless they're used correctly.
Good answer.
You can never beat an actor. Though a good animatronic, I think Ghoulies had a good animatronic. There's a section where they had animatronics and it worked in there. But generally, no. If someone said I've got new animatronics, I'd be like, doesn't excite me.
Mm.
More actors, that's brilliant.
Spin the wheel. Sauce. Just how we like it. Nice and chilled. Even though it's still pretty spicy, because it has got jalapenos in it. There you go, bud. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is when it starts to hurt me now.
That's the one I've just had, like of a normal evening with my dinner.
Yeah.
That's the one.
What's been your favourite Scarecon location?
I've only been to one, so it has to be Alton Towers.
Alton Towers. One last spin for good luck.
Periscope.
Periscope. Let's go out on a bang. And we're running out of chips. Because Dean can only hold a few. Right. There you go. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Thank you. Did you enjoy the sauces?
Really good.
Good out there.
Yeah, I need to try more to figure out which ones I like the most. But yeah, they're really nice. Right, that really hot one, that initial taste was really tasty. So if you can handle your heat, it's a good one.
Oh, hold on, I'm throwing them all over the place now. Well, Ash, have you had fun?
It's been great fun, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. The chat was very interesting, mate. You're welcome back anytime. And
Cheers.
hopefully we see you over the Halloween season.
I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we'll see you in November.
Yes.
November,
Ooh.
when Ash visits the retreat. I'm sure you'd like that, because like you touched on before, you like things that can happen to you in real life. And the retreat is like a real horror movie experience. So,
That sounds brilliant. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to be there. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you in November.
I can't
And
wait.
thank you to you guys again for watching. Please go and follow us on all our socials. So at Pumpkin Podcast on Facebook, at Pumpkin_podcast on Twitter, and just at Pumpkin Podcast on Instagram. We're back next week with another episode. But from me and Ash, it's been emotional. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.